Hello and welcome to today's how-to video from Award-Winning Outdoors at awardwinning94.wordpress.com. You always knew it was Christmas at Grandma's house when there were several different kinds of really yummy things. Both of my grandmas made all kinds of cookies and candies and various Christmas treats. Some of them were really involved and take a lot more patience and time than what I can put into it. But some of them are fairly simple, and I'm going to share several family favorites that are really easy. The first one is peanut butter fudge. And if you can heat stuff in a pan, mix it, and pour it into another pan, you can make peanut butter fudge. It just doesn't take a lot of high-end cooking skills. For ingredients, we're going to need 1 pound of brown sugar. This is actually a 2-pound bag, so I'm going to use about half of it. 1 stick of butter, which would be a half a cup. 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter. And mine's a little bit overflowing for 2 reasons. You can't really put too much peanut butter into peanut butter fudge. And also when you're trying to shove peanut butter in a mixing cup, a lot of times you get some air bubbles and stuff. So I just go over full to be sure I got enough. A teaspoon of vanilla or imitation vanilla. 3.5 cups of confectioners sugar or powdered sugar. There's a slight difference, but either one works for the recipe. 1/4 cup of milk. A big pan to mix it all in, and then an 8-inch by 8-inch pan to pour it into to let it cool and solidify. So our first step in this process, I put the butter into the big saucepan here, and I have it on some medium heat. I'm just going to let it melt in the pan here. That usually takes a couple minutes or so. Once that's melted, I'm going to mix in the peanut butter and a teaspoon of vanilla. I'll mix in all of that, take it off of the heat and set it aside, and then I'll work on mixing the other ingredients in a moment. As that butter is melting, I have added my brown sugar here, which will kind of melt with the heat as well. And then I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of milk, and we'll let all that continue to heat and melt here for a couple minutes. Once your butter and brown sugar and milk solution has all melted, you want to bring it to a boil. Stir it frequently so it doesn't burn or scald the milk. And you're going to want to boil it for about 2 minutes. And keep that stirring going just so you don't burn something or stick to the bottom of the pan. And when the 2 minutes is up, you want to take that off the heat. Once you have removed your mixture from the heat, you want to mix in your 1 teaspoon of vanilla and your peanut butter. And at first the peanut butter will just be one giant glop, but as it heats up, it will start to mix in and stir pretty well. And some of it's going to stick, and that's another reason, if anything, to use a little extra peanut butter. There's no harm in that. And it may take a minute or 2 or 3 of stirring around. As you go, that peanut butter will get thinner and thinner, and you can see here it's even starting to get almost pourable just in the first, I don't know, 30 seconds or something we've been doing this. So just going to keep going until it's mixed pretty thoroughly. Okay, I've been stirring for a couple minutes, and this is a pretty evenly mixed, thick goop here. The peanut butter, vanilla, brown sugar, butter, and milk. So I'm going to I've got my confectioner's sugar poured into a big mixing bowl, and I'm just going to dump all this into that mixing bowl there. Going to use a scraper here to get the last of that out, because a lot of this does want to stick into the pan. And don't want to lose any. It's too good of stuff to waste. Once that's done, we'll set the pan aside. And I'm going to mix this with an electric mixer after I get my spoon out of the way. So I have mixed until everything is all evenly mixed together. There's no clumps or weird looking stuff. I'm just going to dump all that into my small pan here. Looks like a mess right now. But just with clean hands, form that down into the bottom of the pan. It's pretty hot, but it's been cooling enough that this isn't unbearable. And the last thing you got to do is let it cool. You have a pan of peanut butter fudge. Once that cools, you can slice it into small pieces. I have a couple times made a whole lot more of this than I needed. It is a really rich, as you can imagine, because the main ingredient is sugar. It's mostly sugar with a few other things mixed in. So really small pieces are very, very adequate, and it's a great Christmas treat or any other time. So I hope you enjoy it. Merry Christmas. If you want to learn some more Christmas recipes, subscribe to my channel and I'll be sharing several more in the days to come. Thanks for watching.